The Vikings. Just hearing the name brings to mind images of fierce warriors, their longships gliding through icy waters. But who were these enigmatic people? The Vikings came from Scandinavia, a region in northern Europe that includes the countries of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Emerging onto the world stage around the late 8th century AD, they were skilled seafarers, fierce warriors, and shrewd traders. Their sudden appearance and ruthless raids instilled fear across Europe. They were not a unified nation, but rather independent groups, often led by powerful chieftains who sought wealth and glory. Their exploits, a blend of terrifying violence and remarkable exploration, left a lasting mark on history and continue to fascinate us today. The Viking Age, spanning roughly from the 8th to the 11th centuries, was a time of great change and upheaval across Europe. While their raids initially brought chaos and destruction, the Vikings were more than just brutal barbarians. They were adaptable and skilled, eventually establishing trade routes, founding settlements, and even integrating into the very societies they once terrorized. What spurred the Vikings to leave their homelands and embark on perilous journeys across the sea? A number of factors contributed to their wanderlust. One was overpopulation. Scandinavia, with its harsh climate and limited farmland, couldn't easily support its growing population. Venturing out offered a solution, a chance to claim new lands and resources. Another driving force was the lure of wealth. The Vikings had heard tales of the riches held within the monasteries and towns of mainland Europe. Raiding, while brutal, offered a quick and lucrative way to gain treasure, slaves, and power. Beyond material gain, the Vikings were driven by a thirst for adventure and a desire for glory. Their culture valued bravery, strength, and cunning, and what better way to prove oneself than by conquering distant lands and returning home laden with spoils? This potent mix of necessity, ambition, and a thirst for adventure fueled the Vikings' relentless expansion across the globe. The Vikings' success in reaching far-off lands was due in large part to their remarkable ships. These vessels, often called longships, were technological marvels of their time. Built with a shallow draft and a unique combination of sails and oars, longships were incredibly versatile. They could navigate rivers, traverse open seas, and land directly on beaches, making them perfect for both raiding and exploration. The ships were long and narrow, with a clinker-built hull, where the planks overlapped each other. This design made the ships flexible and surprisingly lightweight, allowing them to withstand the rough seas and navigate shallow waters. The Vikings were also skilled navigators, using the stars, the sun, and even birds to guide them across vast distances. Their ships were not mere transport vessels. They were a source of pride and a symbol of Viking power. Often adorned with fearsome dragon heads at the prow, the longships struck terror into the hearts of their enemies, embodying the Vikings' mastery of the sea and their unwavering courage. From the icy fjords of Scandinavia, the Vikings embarked on an era of unprecedented exploration and expansion. Their longships, like swift predators, carried them far and wide, leaving their mark on vast swathes of the globe. To the east, they ventured into the Baltic Sea, establishing trade routes along the rivers of Russia and eventually reaching the Byzantine Empire and even the Caspian Sea. To the west, they raided and settled in the British Isles, France, and parts of Spain. They established a strong presence in Ireland, founding the city of Dublin and leaving a lasting impact on the island's culture. Their voyages took them even further, reaching Iceland, Greenland, and remarkably, the coast of North America, centuries before Columbus. While their raids were undeniably brutal, the Vikings were also shrewd traders. They established extensive trade networks, exchanging goods like furs, timber, slaves, and walrus ivory for silver, spices, and other luxury items from the east. These voyages of conquest and trade transformed the Vikings from local raiders into a powerful force in the medieval world. The Vikings' impact on the places they raided and settled was profound and enduring. In England, their raids initially brought chaos and destruction, but they also played a key role in shaping the country's future. Their presence led to the unification of several Anglo-Saxon kingdoms into what would eventually become England. The Vikings settled in large parts of England, called the Danelaw, where their language, laws, and customs influenced English society. In France, Viking raiders, led by the legendary Rollo, were granted control of a region in the north that became known as Normandy, a name derived from Northmen, a term for Vikings. The Normans, descended from these Viking settlers, would go on to conquer England in 1066 under William the Conqueror, forever altering the course of English history. In Russia, the Vikings, known as the Rus, played a crucial role in the formation of the early Russian state. They established trading settlements along the rivers, and their leader, Rurik, is traditionally credited with founding the Rurik dynasty, which ruled Russia for centuries. While the Vikings are often remembered for their raids, their society was surprisingly complex and sophisticated. They were skilled artisans, crafting beautiful jewelry, intricate carvings, and impressive weapons. Their mythology, rich with tales of gods like Odin, Thor, and Freya, reflected their beliefs about the world and their place within it. Family and community played a central role in Viking society. They lived in longhouses, large communal dwellings that housed extended families. Women held a relatively high status in Viking society compared to other cultures of the time. They could own property, divorce their husbands, and even participate in trade. The Vikings valued strength, courage, and personal honor. They had a strong oral tradition, passing down their history, myths, and sagas through storytelling and song. Their legal system emphasized fairness and justice, and disputes were often settled through assemblies called things, where free men and women could voice their opinions. The Viking Age, like all eras, eventually came to an end. By the late 11th century, Viking raids had begun to decline. Several factors contributed to this decline, including the rise of stronger kingdoms in Europe, the Christianization of Scandinavia, and a warming climate that made farming in Scandinavia more viable. As the Vikings gradually assimilated into the societies they once terrorized, their era of raiding and expansion faded into the annals of history. The Vikings, though long gone, left an indelible mark on the world. Their voyages of exploration expanded the map of the known world. Their raids and conquests reshaped the political landscape of Europe, and their art, mythology, and way of life continue to captivate and inspire us today. From place names to language, from shipbuilding techniques to legal systems, the legacy of the Vikings can still be felt across the globe, a testament to the enduring impact of these remarkable seafarers.